What's going on, guys? Shout out Bulls Nation. Shout out all my Bulls fans out there. The United Center gonna be attending some games this year. I wouldn't be making this video if I didn't have this lifelong allegiance that I cannot break, and I must maintain loyalty regardless of whatever bullshit flies my way and our way, because we are one. We will succeed from out of the fire, and we will see the light at the end of the tunnel, even though we've had heartbreaks and then just some absolutely forgettable, terrible rebuilding years over the past several before we acquired DeMar, Lonzo Ball, who, speaking of which, we're not going to talk about that at all in this video, whatever the Lonzo Ball new news is. This video, it's about optimism, because my original Chicago Bulls video was completely pessimistic. We're going to be a play-in team. This season, it's looking bleak as far as, we thought we had a championship window. I know, now in hindsight, it's fucking insane to say that. But we were in the first seed when our team was fully healthy. And I'm concerned with the team. It's not about the team not being good enough on paper, the roster that we have. If all the pieces come together, if all the stars align, I believe in Patrick Williams. That's why I can maintain a level of confidence in the team. Patrick Williams is heading into his third season in the NBA. Kind of really his second, because I would like to think the last year doesn't really count. He plays 17 games in total after being out for most of the year. 71 in his rookie year, which was a bad year for us, but even though he only averaged 9 points a game, he proves to be an efficient shooter. His jump shot, it looks like he can shoot the basketball. So he is a very passive player, and that is the one pet peeve that I have, and probably a lot of people have with him. Probably his biggest weakness is that he's just not aggressive enough. He doesn't project to have that dog in him, and that is the worst thing I'll say about him in this video. And I don't know if it's true. I don't know if he's got the confidence to be a star, a true star in the NBA, being the type of player that I think he can be. Young Kawhi Leonard, he's got the physical tools. You look at what Kawhi does in the NBA now, and his size, strength, the way he bullies people, the way he can dribble the ball, move with the ball, being as big as he is, and then being able to hit the jump shot. Like, Pat Williams has all those tools. He is 6'8", 220 pounds. When he decides to use his body, use his strength, use his explosiveness, he can be devastating on both ends of the court, because he's strong as hell. He should be a really good defensive player. It really just comes down to him getting on the court for 20 games at a time, 15 games at a time. Don't get hurt. If he plays a healthy year, it'll be an amazing stepping stone. He will really be featured as like a third guy when he's on the court. There will be minutes that he plays where Zach is not on the court, DeMar is not on the court, at least one of those guys not on the court. Or if we have injuries, his name will be called to take 15 shots in a game. It's going to happen. His role is going to grow, even though ideally with everybody healthy, his role is not to do too much. It is to do what he's comfortable with. But the three-point shot has looked really good so far as he's in the league. Mid-range game, pretty much that free throw line area, he kind of owns that area. Being able to get to the rim, sheer athleticism, just jumping ability and strength, being able to finish with dunks. Physical finisher. This guy's strong as hell. A lot of guys, if they're not in position, they're not going to try to make a play on this guy if he has a lane, because you're going to get flushed on. It's going to happen. He's going to catch a body this season if he plays 70 games. But some teams are going to have to bring double teams for DeMar DeRozan. Not everybody has a defender that you can just throw on DeMar and say, you're by yourself pretty much. I mean, there are a few defensive players in the NBA that might be capable of that. In a one-on-one situation, him and Zach LaVine are two guys that you're going to have to bring extra help on in certain scenarios, especially they're both on the court. You probably don't have two defenders good enough to just play one-on-one, and someone's going to have to help off Pat Williams in a lot of times, especially in these lineups where if a defense is guarding Nikola Vucevic, we're spacing the floor. If we have 5 shooters on the court, Pat Williams is going to be able to knock down these corner threes, and also his closeouts are going to be more powerful if he can get guys in the air. I mean, he's going to have momentum and a lane to the rim. That should be a great way for him to play off of our star players. On the defensive end, he's going to be tasked with guarding these fours like Giannis and KD, and that might be a little bit tough for him. And we're really going to see how good of a defender is this year. It's really just all about getting that rhythm. He plays 1 year, and yeah, he struggles against guys like Giannis in his rookie year when he's playing 71 games. He's starting all 71. He's starting all of his games. He's out there being the primary defensive player in the front court as a 19-year-old. And that's the thing with this guy. I mean, he just doesn't have that much experience playing basketball on levels like this. Even in college, he plays 1 year in college and he comes off the bench because he goes to a stacked program. Barely played last year. And in a series against Milwaukee, he was one of the biggest scorers on the team when he needed to be. He did have multiple 20-point games in that series. We did see a late game in the season against Minnesota Timberwolves where he had 35 because he was the main guy on the court. Number one option, he gets 35, gets a W. Playing next to guys like DeMar and Zach, Pat Williams' 15 points per game this year is very in play, I would say. The thing we know about him is that he's an efficient scorer. He might not take the shot as much as he should take the shot, but he's probably going to make the shot if he does take it. And the amount of good looks that he gets in an offense is going to skyrocket if he's on the court with Zach, DeMar, especially Lonzo Ball, man. Just a guy that's going to be able to get him the ball in great places. And even despite, what's going on, a lot of the news that's coming out is just not positive for us. Regardless of that, this is one thing that we have to look forward to. A silver lining in all this mess is, Pat Williams takes that step and he becomes a guy that defenses really have to game plan for. And that's going to help open things up for the other guys too. If he can really put that pressure on a defense, it's going to make life easier for DeMar and Zach and Vucevic and everybody. So it's so key that some sort of progression is very visible this year. We got to see Pat in that bigger role. We got to see him play these games because I think, man, we could see something crazy. I mean, he should be doing what OG Anunoby does for the Raptors next year. He has that ability. Let me know what you guys think about Pat. But that's definitely the guy that I'm really coming into the season expecting a lot, expecting that jump.